The doctor has the nurse insert the IV into the man's arm. They are quickly preparing the man as he gasps for air. These are quite literally his last breaths. The doctor fills the syringe with a gold liquid and inserts it into the IV. The room is hushed as everybody sends up silent prayers, for this is his last hope. When someone is on their deathbed and their future is dying, it is comforting to know that they have the right to try something new that could save their life. The Right to Try Act is relatively new to the United States. It has only been a law for 18 months, so not very many people know the benefits of it. The Right to Try laws were created for terminally ill people to access experimental drugs that have not been FDA approved yet. So one might question, how can a person qualify for the Right to Try Act? Well, the patient must be diagnosed with a life-threatening disease. They must have exhausted all approved medications already, and the patient has to sign a written consent stating that they understand the risks they are taking and they are willing to try anyways. After a patient has done all of this, they can qualify for a drug. However, they are not given any simple drug off of the street. The Right to Try Act makes sure that the drug they are given is eligible for the patient. So they do this by making sure the drug passes phase 1 of clinical trials and that it is filed for FDA approval. This is very comforting for the patient because it shows them that the Right to Try Act cares about their health. After reading many medical journals, researching the act, and talking to Steve Griff, a doctor in pharmacy, I have become aware of the benefits that the Right to Try Act provides for the United States citizens. Although the Right to Try Act is technically written and implemented, it is emotionally connected to those who have had the opportunity to take advantage of it. Matt Bellina is a great example of someone who feels blessed by this act. Matt was a U.S. Navy pilot with a young family. He was diagnosed with ASL. Matt was basically wheelchair bound. He had to sleep with a breathing machine and he lost his ability to speak. This was very discouraging for him. However, in early 2019, Matt began the experimental drug called Neurone. This drug helped him very, very quickly. Within weeks, Matt was able to stand up out of his wheelchair. He was able to sleep again without a breathing machine, and he was even seeing improvement in his speech. This was a true blessing. Not only did this benefit Matt, but it also benefited the medical field. It showed them that this drug is usable for other patients. Matt says, "This law is also consistent with the ideal of individual liberty and the infinite potential for anyone brave enough to pursue it." Matt encourages patients who are like him by saying, "The path to grace has always been through rugged individualism, and I am here tonight to thank all of you for being courageous enough to fight for it. It is time for people to know they have the right to try." When interviewing Dr. Griff, I asked him what his opinion was on the matter, and he responded by saying, "If a person is terminally ill and they understand that the drug they are going to take is not a guarantee, then I feel like they have absolutely nothing to lose." He continued by telling me a story about a man in the late 1800s. This man was dying from an infected cyst. At the time, penicillin was not FDA approved, and nobody knew what the side effects were for this drug. So it was kind of sketchy, but the man was dying and there was no other hope. So Despite the risks, the doctor gave the man penicillin, and within 24 hours, the man began to recover. This was the 1800s version of the Right to Try Act, and we can see its benefits today. The Right to Try Act is a good law that needs to be made known. It has the potential to benefit the patient. It has the potential to benefit the medical field, and it has the potential to change lives for the better.